Hi, kindergarten. I'm so excited to be able to read you guys a book. This is one of my favorites. It's A Camping Spree with Mr. Magee. I think this is a really fun summer story, which is perfect for the season we're about to jump into. All right. So, early one morning at 7:03, Mr. Magee and his little dog Dee packed up the camper and hitched up the load, hopped in the Rambler, and hit the road. They drove to the mountains far from the sea for 2 nights of camping, or possibly 3. "There's nothing like camping," said Mr. Magee. "I know you will love it. Just you wait and see. The views are fantastic. There's hardly a sound, aside from the wildlife. There's no one around. And the air is so sweet you'll sleep like a log," said Mr. Magee to his small spotted dog. A few hours later, they took a sharp right and found a great spot to lay camp for the night. It was high on a hill with a beautiful view of Mount Adams, Mount Lincoln, and Jefferson too. But perhaps the most wonderful feature of all was the brook that ran over a steep waterfall. Dee gathered pine cones and branches and logs. Magee made a campfire and cooked some hot dogs. And as the sun set behind the far distant knolls, they sat roasting marshmallows over the coals. As the embers went out, they felt tired and dozy, so they climbed into their bunk beds and got all comfy and cozy. But while they were falling asleep, without a care, along came a stumbling, bumbling bear. A kindly old bear whose sight wasn't so clear. He couldn't see far and he couldn't see near, but he could smell marshmallows, sticky and sweet. This smell made him hungry. He wanted a treat. He sniffed out the place where the marshmallows lay, but the car and the camper were in the bear's way. Yet that didn't stop the sneaky old bear. He simply tried squeezing right under the hitch, and as he was shimmying into the gap, he pushed up the hitch, which let go with a snap. Now that the camper and the car were untied, they started to roll down the rocky hillside. The car bounced away on the old logging road while the camper was heading to where the stream flowed. It flew down the hill in a wild, bumpy ride, with Dee Magee sleeping soundly inside. They were snoring and snoozing, enjoying a dream, when splash went the camper right into the stream. The splash shook the camper. They bumped out of bed. "Now what in the world was that?" Magee said. And when he looked out and saw where they were, his hair stood up on the end, and so did Dee's fur. They were caught in the rapids, but that wasn't all. They were headed smack dab for the big waterfall. Dee and Magee both started to quiver. As faster and faster they headed downriver, but just when they thought they'd fall over the edge, their camper got stuck on a rock at the ledge. So there they were, stranded, Magee and his pup, on the top of a waterfall, 50 feet up. Meanwhile, that nearsighted bear from before was searching for one little marshmallow more, when lo and behold, as it went off the stream, he spied something sweet over by the stream. But what the bear thought was a marshmallow treat was really the hitch, and not something to eat. The bear was determined to capture his prize, so he jumped into the water right to his thighs, and then splashed through the stream to the edge of the fall, and snatched up the trailer hitch, camper and all. Dee felt a tug. Magee heard a knock. As the bear pulled the camper right off the rock, he dragged them both all the way to the back of the bank when he realized the hitch was not sweet, but quite rank. He spit out the hitch and left in dismay, while Magee and Dee's camper again rolled away. It flew down the path with The jolt in a jar. It stopped in some bushes right next to the car. Dee popped her head out. Magee looked out too. They had really stopped rolling? Could it be true? At last things seemed quiet and were peaceful and still. They hooked up the hitch and went off down the road. And on the way home, Magee said to Dee, "That trip wasn't quite what I thought it was." So when they got home, with the sky turning red, they decided to camp in the backyard instead. Alright, that is it. So maybe this summer, some of you guys will go camping. I know I'm trying to. It might be a fun thing to do over the summer. And just like in this book, even if you camp out in your backyard, it still counts. If you're outside and you're sleeping out there, it's all good. Have a great summer, kindergarten. I cannot wait to see all of you next year. And have a wonderful rest of your summer. Bye.